looking at Seipai Combinations. So, we're going to start the kata facing in that direction, feet together, left hand on top. Left leg goes back, left arm block, right arm over, short step forward, grab the right palm at the bottom, step in and out, pull and press, then drop in shiku, pull to you, push the elbow forward. Let's do that again. So from here, we're in Musubi-dachi, left leg goes back, left arm block, right shoulder movement, left leg steps forward, grab my right palm at the bottom, step forward, pull, press to the right side, drop in shiku, and elbow. Let's do that again. So from here, step back, block, drop, step forward, grab, step forward, pull to the left side, over, drop, and elbow. Right, so that is our first combination of the kata. Our next combination gets a little bit more interesting. So, if you look at the next movement, I'm stepping forward, grabbing my arm, and then opening up here. Looks kind of cool, but from a fighting perspective, that's very dangerous. Why would I step right into my opponent? Let's for argument's sake, say my opponent's grabbed my right wrist, and I'm stepping in to hit that arm off. Then my opponent swings at me, I block and I hit, and then I kick, and I step back and I punch. Usually, instructors who don't really understand the strategic principles in a kata try to explain every little move as an application. Every single move in the kata has an application. This, for example, has nothing to do with this, has nothing to do with that. How would you use each thing in a fight? And I don't agree with that. It's just my opinion, doesn't count for anything, but my idea is that the kata has its basic movements that you can look at as the alphabet. A, B, C, D. Right. So you could explain what this movement means, and you could explain what this is, and you could do 1,000 of these strikes because you know it's hitting the side of the temple, and you could use it against someone that is grabbing you and you hit, or someone that's kicking you and you hit. You can use it wherever. But it's not a sentence. It's not telling you a story. So we also have to look at how the sentence within this kata is constructed and what that sentence is trying to, what information the sentence is trying to convey to you. So if we look at this movement of stepping in and pulling out here, to me that means my opponent's already on top of me. Much the same as in Seipai Kata when I'm doing this, I'm in the fight. Hands on top of me, grabbing, we're fighting, biting, spitting, yelling, clearing, and then knee kick. Same goes for Seipai. The fight is on top of me. So as I'm fighting here, I might need to pull one arm down, clear the other arm, maybe press into the bladder. As I hit the bladder, clear the arm, and then strike, and quite possibly hit to the ribs or the kidneys, depending on my opponent's angle, instead of the neck. Neck is a bonus if you get there. So, let's take the kata from here. Press with the elbow. Step in. Thumb goes underneath. It shows me the direction where I'm going. I'm sliding down. I want to hit with the edge of the hand into the bladder. At the same time, I want to clear my opponent's grip. Open it up. Open the arm, hook the arm, pull back and strike. Usually this is catching underneath and pulling back. So this is a good position for you to understand here how you're grabbing beneath the arm. So from this position, hook, hit, and then kick. And then pull your opponent off balance and give them a liver shot. Left hits to the right side of the body, which quite possibly is a liver shot. So, and we could just add the urakin, which I don't think has much to do with your opponent's face, but could quite possibly be to press your opponent down and drop them on the floor as the elbow impacts the sternum. So, let's look at this position again. I've elbow, I step, left leg in front, right hand up. I pull, I hook, I hit, kick, long back, punch, uraken. Let's do that one more time, and then I think practice that a bit before we move on to the next combination. So from here, elbow out, step, pull, hook, hit, right leg kick, long back, left hand punch, left hand uraken. Right, practice that a bit and then come back for the next combination. Right, let's move on from there. So we've just done the left uraken. Now we're going to turn around, and this part of the kata gets very frustrating, especially for people who are learning this kata for the first time. It's got a lot of very weird twists and turns that look extremely abstract. Understand, this is all one strategic idea, and it is you positioning yourself for the optimal position within the fight. So first of all, let's look at our very first movement here. Left hand comes up, right hand goes on top, or elbow goes on top, right hand blocks. The moment you see the cat stance, you should know I'm receiving energy, okay, or weight towards me. I'm being pushed back. Either it is my opponent pushing me, or it is me pulling my opponent. It could be me grabbing my opponent from the front and pulling back. It could be me behind my opponent, pulling my opponent backwards to control them. Whatever the reason is, you know cat stance is not some fancy Karate Kid movement. It has a purpose. You are being pushed. It's a very natural movement. One, I'm absorbing the momentum. Second thing you see within this turn is that you're turning 180 degrees. Now this is not always the case, but it could be said that if I find myself facing my opponent here, and then all of a sudden in the kata I'm turning that way into cat stance, there's a good chance that if this is my opponent, I somehow got behind my opponent in a cat stance. However, I got there is unimportant now, but the point is that if you visualize the kata as fighting one human being, me getting behind my opponent and sliding back should give you an idea of why I'm pulling into cat stance, getting my arm around here, and then the other arm on top. Now the arm on top, for a rear naked choke, you would have the left hand grabbing the bicep, right hand controlling, then grabbing, and then squeezing. I think we need to look at this as a step-by-step movement. So from this position here, pull into cat stance, bring the left hand around the throat. Slide the right hand over. Now, from here, I'm going to clear whatever's here. Might be a grip on my arm. Clear 1, come up 2, control 3. And there it stops. However you apply the rear naked choke later on, it's your story. But it could be that you're just grabbing a hold of the clothes here and you've got the lock in and you're going to press the head forward. The lock itself, unimportant for now, it's how your arms get there. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to pivot on the right foot all the way around. You're working with the same opponent here. So later on in the bunkai, you'll see how you are turning, twisting and turning against one opponent in one situation. So as I'm turning here, my left is going to go up, my right goes through, my left goes back, my right goes down. If you get stuck with this, look at last week's basics. So let's look at the movement again. I'm in the uraken here, pull into cat stance, left up, right over, clear 1, 2, 3. Pivot on the right foot, move around, left over, right back. right through, left back. Both fists, right break. Then the next part of the combination, you're going to pivot on the left foot. It's going to go all the way to the front. This becomes a kick. So think of this as attacking your opponent's leg. At the same time, left hand goes around the head and hooks, right hand drops, left hand pulls, right hand slaps. So let's do that again. From this position, urapi. Pull into cat stance, block right hand block, right hand catch. Pivot on the right foot, left goes over, right goes back, right goes through, left goes back, both goes fists, right breaks. Pivot on the left foot, left hand goes behind the head and hooks, right hand slaps groin. Right, let's do the whole combination. Try and follow. Ich, knee, som. Look at it again. Last time. Ich, knee, som. Okay. This is probably the most complicated part of the kata. So take some time with this, then come back to the next combination. Our next part of the kata is clearing and pressing. And when you see this, you could even think slapping the side of the face, on the side of the jaw, on the eardrum, wherever you want, while the left hand is clearing. So from here, let's have the right hand strike. We're going to step left leg in. Left hand is going to clear. Right hand is going to press. Now the next move becomes a bit interesting. I'm turning on the spot, dropping my weight down. So I want to turn my right knee behind my left and I drop down. And the reason for this is to stay exactly on this line that I'm currently occupying. I do not want to deviate from that line at all. And when you see that, you should think, well, I'm quite probably very tight, no gap between me and my opponent, and I need to maintain that close proximity. I do not want to give my opponent the space to move out of this. So, left hand block, right hand push. Against my opponent, I drop down. My left hand turns up. When you see this, you know I'm either going to grab underneath the arm or scoop the leg up and grab underneath the leg. So we are palm up, palm to me. I move on that line and I impact with the elbow, pulse over pulse. Now I'm going to catch the bottom of the leg. I'm going to pull the leg up. And I'm going to be pressing into the ribs with my elbow. As I do, I'm going to do a sweep. Now the sweep is not with a foot. Could be with a foot. But since you are stuck to your opponent, it's a good bet you're using the inner thigh. Popping the hip up to lift your opponent and off balance them to take over their center line. You want to tilt their center line like this and throw them down on the floor. So as we are here, I'm going to pop the right hip and knee, all of this up. One. There's the throw, and then I stay back and I block. Question, why do I block? Well, it is not because all of a sudden from the floor my opponent jumps up and does a kick at me. I see this as a backup plan. This is quite an intricate movement. If things go wrong, I need to be able to get out of it. So, if things go right, this is where the application stops. Plan B, I'm getting entangled with my opponent here. Get out of there. And ready. Create some space. Now it's equal footing again. Now the fight continues. So this is why I see the step back as clearing. My arm gets grabbed, clear. I get rushed here, clear. Move out the way. Stand in a good shiku here so that if there's pressure on me, I can't be pushed sideways easily. This is the most stable position of the shikurach. Here, and then I can move in again. So, this is one idea. Take it or leave it. But that's how I see that movement. So, let's take it again from the groin slap. I move in, I clear, and I press. Maybe hit. I drop into a cross-legged stance here, turn one palm up and right palm to knee, slide on that line, impact with the elbow, pulse over pulse, right leg sweep, double punch, remember the knuckles protruding, step back and clear. Let's do that again but a little bit more flowing. So from here, hitch, knee, som, chi, go. Right. The next part is just from a Kion perspective, from a basic point of view, the mirror image. So let's quickly do that. We've just gotten out of the way. Right hand, right leg, clear. Left hand, palm strike, press. Same thing, drop down on the line you are, turn the right palm up, left palm to you. Slide on that line, left elbow, pulse over pulse, right scoops the leg, left underhooks the arm, sweep with the right leg, and step back and clear. Let's do it again. So we find ourselves in this position. We do the second part. Right hand block, left hand push, drop, press, sweep, kiai, cover. Let's do one more time. From this position, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think I made a mistake just now when I said right leg. Ignore that part. I'm not even going to edit it out. I'm going to leave it in there to show how confused I sometimes get. But keep in mind, it should be your left leg that does the sweep there. Right. So let's add both as one long combination. Okay. So from here, we've just done the groin slap. You should be facing, if these are your 4 angles here, your window blocks here, bottom right, top left, bottom left. We want to be facing the bottom right with the right leg in front. Left, block, push, drop, press, sweep. This is kiai number 1. Get out of danger. Right leg, right hand push, left hand impact. Drop, press, sweep, step back, clear. Okay, practice that a bit. If you get that, let's get to the second half of the kata. For our next combination, we're going to do the cat stance and step across part of the kata. So, let's stand in the bottom left corner of our window blocks here. And we're going to step on the line and pull into cat stance. So, again, when you're pulling into cat stance, kind of assuming you are receiving energy or you're pulling energy towards you. This is probably receiving energy. Why do I say that? Because it's more of a clearing and striking movement. So I'm being pushed, I'm being attacked. I need to cover myself and possibly try and hit so that I can take the momentum back towards my opponent. So we're in this position. Hand out. Step on the line with the right leg. Pull left leg into cat stance. Left hand block chest. Right hand swing. Then right leg. For now, I'm just going to do a normal step. Steps forward with the heel on the line. Left leg hooks behind. Drop the arms. Right block chest. And left swing. Now, first of all, there is a huge difference between the first block hit and the second block hit. And that is because the one is a deflect and an impact, and the second one is a grip. It is a position for my hands to be in so that from here I can do a throw. So you need to understand that even though things might look almost similar in the kata, look at the position of the body. And that should be a good indicator for you. Would I really stand in this position, block and hit, even for a split second? No. Would I bump my opponent with my hip, grab and throw? Yeah, sure. So that's kind of, you've got to learn to to get a feel for what the kata is trying to teach you. So, let's do only that combination a couple of times. Right leg step, pull into left leg forward cat stance, left block, right swing. Right leg step, left leg hook, drop, right block, left swing. So those are the those are the movements. There's one part I'm doing on purpose wrong just to show the combination. But now we need to emphasize that movement. So let's look at it again. From here, right leg step, block and swing. Now, the next movement is a big movement. I need to push my body as far as I can. Why? Why is it important that from this position I'm covering as much ground as possible within the kata? And no, the reason is not because the guy's far away from me. The guy's far away from me, I leave. I don't need to fight. The reason for exerting a lot of energy by pushing my body as far as it can go, again, is an indicator that the kata is showing me I'm going to have to exert a lot of energy against my opponent's weight. So whenever in the kata you see a jump, a big slide forward or a big slide backwards, it should tell you, you're dealing with your opponent's weight. So, let's take from this position again. 1. Not a big movement. So, not much weight here. I'm not really being pushed that far away. I'm not having that big an influence on my opponent. But I do know that I'm on the back foot. So, I'm clearing and I'm hitting. Now, hopefully the impact worked. Even if my opponent's here, the energy I'm going to take in the kata from there to there is me bumping my opponent with my hip while getting my arms in position. So from here, bump with the hip, get the arms in position, and then turn around. Let's ignore the next part, just the turnaround important there. So, let's look at it again. 1, 2, 3. Just the turn, don't worry about the block. Again. H, knee, son. Right. Take some time, work on the cat stance part, add the turn at the end. Try and figure out why you are moving in this way. Have fun. Let's look at the last really long combination in the kata, a series of movements, before we get to the ending of the kata. So, we just got to this point here, we turn, and we're going to catch. So all I want you to do is stand in sunshin, right hand clear, left hand catch. Right hand clear, left hand catch, left leg in front, sunshin. Both hands become fists. Left hand hits the groin. Very similar to Geki Saraich's movement here. I'm just staying in sunshin. Left elbow up, left urake. Right block chest. Right leg kick, put it back. Right hand push. Left hand punch, kiai number 3. Let's look at it again. So from here, left leg in front sunshin. Right hand block, left hand catch. Both hands fists. Left hand down. Left elbow up. Left urake. Right block. Right leg kick, put it back, push. Punch. Let's look at it again. Left hand, hit yuke. So block, catch. Fists, down, up, urake. Block. Kick, long back, push, punch. Let's do the mirror image of that. So from this position, if we take this cross here, and we stand in a shikudachi, left hand's going to go into the middle. So let's say this line is my middle line here. My left foot's going to go on the middle line, and then I'm going to turn. My left hand's going to clear, my right hand's going to catch. Both hands become fists. I down to the groin, elbow up under the chin, urake into the nose, left hand block chest, left kick, long back, left push, right kiai number 4, urozuki. Let's do the whole combination. So stand in left leg in front, sanshin, left hikyuke. Fists, strike groin, chin, nose. Clear. Kick, long back, punch. Left halfway up, left clear, right catch. Both hands fists. Right, groin, elbow under the chin, back fist on the nose. Turn, block chest. Left kick, step back, left push. Kiai number 4, urozu. Again. Right block, left catch. Down, up, uraken. Block, kick, long back, kiai. Turn, catch. Groin, chin, nose. Block, kick, long back, kiai. Right, that's the second last combination of the kata. Again, spend some time with it, then come back to the final one. Right, our last combination of the kata. This, again, is something that I feel a lot of times is misunderstood. I've seen this taught as someone's punching at you or trying to grab you. You're going to catch their hand, do a wrist lock, but you've got to look like Steven Seagal in his younger years to do that. So, I think this has to do with a neck lock, or a neck twist. So as I'm in the fight here, I get a gap where I can cup my opponent's chin, get behind the neck, I'm pulling my opponent in, and I'm twisting the neck around. It's far more efficient than trying to turn someone's wrist around. So, whatever it may be, let's do the basic combination of this. So I find myself in shigurach, right hand did the 4th kiai. I'm going to step with my left leg on the line, pull my right foot into cat stance. Left hand goes under right. Very similar to Seipai. Actually exactly like Seipai. So from here, right hand punch, step, drop the right hand, left hand goes underneath. Instead of like Seipai going to the side, Seipai pulls to the middle, pulse over pulse. Then from here I'm going to step back with the right. I'm going to bring the arms, making fists, we discussed it in last week's basics, over the shoulder down, and then hit with a palm. Why do I say hit with a palm? If you think about a culture that had long hair at the time, it's a good chance that as I'm pulling my opponent's head in, and this is the top of the head, I'm grabbing the head here. I'm grabbing the head. This is cupping the chin. So as I'm here, as I'm turning, I'm taking the person down, making them spin around and sit on their butt right in front of me. I've still got the head, unless it was a toupee. So the hit that I'm going to give is with an open hand to the eardrum. So, let's look at it again. But this time, we add some energy to it. And again, you should understand, I'm working against my opponent's weight. Thus, the kata shows me give more energy. I catch my opponent. Now I'm going to pull my opponent off balance. To do that, I need a lot of energy. Then down, then finish. Let's do that one more time, and then we are done with Seipai Kata. Step left, right hand on top, pull. Step right, bring the hands over the shoulder, open the left hand, pop the eardrum, push down, breathe out, and done. Have some fun with these combinations. Next week, we do the whole kata.